Welcome to a new week. I'm starting off rather sluggish. My eyes are super tired right now. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night. There's creatures making noises in my walls. So I'm gonna get myself dressed for a run on the old stage road. The foliage looks really fantastic from down here in the valley, so I'm gonna get the drone out, do some filming, and explore some thoughts that I'm having. Somebody sent me a quote this morning, and it's bothered me a bit about becoming, like who you want to become. So I'm gonna film the trail and also record my thoughts at the same time. And I think I'll post this as a separate video rather than having you listen to me ramble for 10 minutes within the vlog itself. So I'm heading up the mountain and I will see you soon. It is a stunningly beautiful day in the woods.
And an overwhelming majority of Americans, 88%, support basic lockdown procedures. But differences start.
Some people find Jesus, you found Napoleon.
I often get dressed for an activity well in advance of engaging in it. That way the transition to that activity is a lot easier. So got dressed for roller skiing, but I was working on some writing projects and then the fire alarm went off. So I packed up the laptop and now I'm going to drive to the covered bridges to do a roller ski, and then I can do some writing in the car because they may have the building locked down here shortly with the fire department. And I may not be able to get in for a while. I don't know what's going on. I assume it's a false alarm, but it could be an actual fire. So it's super warm today. Anyway, I'm going to do a roller ski and then sit by a covered bridge and do some writing. All right, see you in a bit. It was 33 degrees this morning and now it is 74. It is a dim and early morning, and I'm listening to Robert Sapolsky's new book, Determined, which is about why there's no such thing as free will. And at present, he's covering chaos theory and describing it in detail, but now he's about to tell us why that doesn't leave room for free will, which many people think it does. You'll often hear people using quantum mechanics and chaos theory to say, see, nothing is predictable, therefore we have free will. And what he does in this book is attack every argument based on the evidence, hoping to demonstrate by the end that there's no place for free will when you're done with that investigation. Anyway, really good book, but he's also missing something. There's a lot that he doesn't get, and we'll get to that later on. Right now, I gotta go upstairs and get to work. It's been a really fun day of writing and research. I'm developing some essays that I'm really enjoying. And I think that's what my next book is going to be, a compilation of essays. It's the easiest way for me to communicate right now. I'm struggling with creating a linear, nonfiction, progressive narrative. So I think essays are the way to go. More digestible for me and the reader. Anyway, I gotta head home, finish the chimney project before the snow arrives, and then get cleaned up for my parents' 60th anniversary party. It's hard to believe they've been married 60 years. So we're gonna have dinner, watch old videos, or should I say old films that have been transferred to video, look at slides, and tell stories of the old days. All right, see ya. Today we are putting in a new chimney. But first we have to get the old one out.
This one too.
Tim's not a murderer. He's a live and let live.
You want to kill it?
Well, what are you going to do with it?
Well, what are you going to do with it?
Oh,
You're going to lose it?
did I? No,
Nope.
there it is. Okay.
Some wicked big sidewalk chalk and swine conditioning spray. It is toasty outside. It's like 76 degrees. So I'm going to take advantage of that and go for a run in Glastonbury, which is about 8 to 10 miles north of here. And beautiful trails in there. Going to go up Glastonbury Road, do some filming, and see what remains of the foliage. I think we've only got a day or two left before it's all gone. Such a beautiful day here in Glastonbury. So glad that I got out for another run. And here's a great example of my desire to film things being the catalyst that got me out to do the run. And I've run, 10, 12 times now in the past few weeks, which is more than I've run in several years. So having another goal that uses running as the vehicle to accomplish that goal is much easier to employ to get me to run than simply putting running on a schedule or putting running in front of me. Running just hasn't been something I've wanted to do, primarily because of my ankle. I didn't want to ruin it. I really wanted to give it a good break, and hopefully at some point running can become a regular feature of my life again. But I didn't want to push it too soon. And the filming got me out there, and the ankle has behaved. It's double brace, so I've got a lot of protection on there, but it's doing okay. So I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for the filming. And this is something that I do on a somewhat regular basis. Create a Trojan horse goal of sorts. Like, ooh, you gotta get out there and film before the leaves are gone. And running is the best way to get it done. So I guess we're going for a run. So much easier than just saying go for a run. And I do this with all manner of things. When it comes to exercise, I can say, all right, I have to move these buckets of dirt, or I have to move all these cinder blocks because there's a project that I'm working on. But at the same time, I organize it in such a way that physical labor is necessary, like parking 100 feet away from where I want the cinder blocks to be, and then moving each one that 100 feet and then stacking them. It's a great way to get a workout without framing it as a workout. Anyway, I'm gonna head back to the studio, get some writing done. It is a bright and early Saturday morning, and I am spending some time in the educational bubble listening to Determined by Robert Sapolsky, and he's presently talking about the default mode network, one of my favorite topics because it's generally what stops us from taking action, and it's also what makes us miserable when we keep ruminating over the same thing again and again. Anyway, it's a chilly morning. The summer weather that we had the past few days, it got up to like 76 degrees Fahrenheit. That is gone. We are back into the low 40s this morning. Next 2 days going to be in the 20s and possible snow. So winter may have arrived. And I'm going to head upstairs now, do some work, and then I got to take the car in to be inspected. I am in the process of getting ready to roller ski, and I noticed something that hangs me up on occasion, so I thought I would share. I have been waiting to find out if my parents were going to go to New York to get some stovepipe, which we can't find here, for the chimney project I'm working on. And as I was waiting, I had to put my own stuff on hold because I thought I was probably going to end up going, but they said they would try. So I gave them that opportunity. They can go out for breakfast, whatever. And as I was sitting here, I was stuck because I wasn't sure what to do. Should I hop on the elliptical? I really don't feel like it. Should I go for a roller ski? I probably don't have time. Should I do this? Should I do that? I don't know. And suddenly I start to cope. And when I cope, I eat. Now, I exercise a lot, so I don't put on weight when I cope, but I don't feel good. Even though I don't gain weight, I just feel terrible after going through a coping session. So what I have learned is I just have to make a decision. I have to constrain myself. I can't let myself think. So when you're thinking about doing something and you're confused and you don't know where to put it, how do I fit this into my day? Choose something smaller and just make a decision. I'm not going in the morning. If they need me to go, I will go later in the day. That way my morning isn't held hostage to what they're doing, and I can take control of what I'm doing. We'll just renegotiate the terms. I'll get the Chimney products later in the day if necessary. And in the meantime, I'm just going to take action. I'm going to move towards something. Now, it didn't have to be roller skiing. It could have been something else. But all day long, I'm making decisions like this. And today it involved other people, so it's a bit more complicated. And that's really where I get stuck, when other people are involved and I have to wait on their timelines or on their decisions. But when it's just me, decision, decision, decision. Make them small, make them survivable, but make them quick, and just keep yourself going, keep yourself in motion. Because for most of my life, I sat and thought and wondered and tried to figure it out in advance. Guess what? You can't. Whatever you figure out isn't going to be the way the reality turns up, and you're probably not going to figure it out anyway. You're most likely not going to come to a positive conclusion that motivates you. You're going to find a million reasons not to do it, or that I don't know if it's the right time. So small decision and then take a step. Small decision, take a step. All day long. All right, off to roller ski. Filling old plow furrows with dirt from under the house. Little by little, I'm reclaiming the old pasture and turning it into a smooth field. It's a rather chilly Sunday morning, and I'm doing some listening to Determined by Robert Sapolsky. He's currently talking about atheists and how they're the scorn of the world. That people have more negative opinions of atheists than of any other group, which I always find fascinating. That one can't be moral without a belief in God, but compulsion doesn't make you moral. Fear doesn't make you moral. It just makes you afraid or conformist. Anyway, I'm about to head over to Albany, New York. Have to get a chimney part that we can't find locally. And we want to get it done today because it's going to snow. So I'm going to drive over there now, do some more listening, and maybe get a walk somewhere in a park in that area. Anyway, here we go. This turned out to be a pretty good week. I made some big progress on the foundation project under the house. Chimney is done. Got almost 21 hours of total training. Some pretty good strength, which I'll show you in a second. And next week, I'm going to taper down a bit. I have the Mount Greylock roller ski race in Massachusetts. Highest mountain in Massachusetts, 8 miles, pretty much straight uphill, climbing 2,200 feet on classic roller skis, which I've never used. So I just bought a pair of classic roller skis. They're kind of clunkers, a bit heavy. Wheels are pretty slow, but they'll get the job done. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to pull the trigger on this race, but I'm in the lead for the Masters Hill Climb Series after my first place in the Masters at Whiteface. So why not try classic roller skiing? Again, I've never done it. When I roller skied in high school and college, there was no classic. It had disappeared, and skating, what we now call freestyle, had taken over, and nobody was doing classic anymore. So all of the roller skiing I did late high school and college was skating. So this will be a new experiment, and hopefully I can get a few classic skis in this coming week. Test them out a couple times. I'm hesitant, but we'll see. And then hop in the race and see what my Bigfoot light on the treadmill does, and also my elliptical. I lean forward and I really push out the back. So my glutes are strong, my quads are strong. My hamstrings might be the weak point. That's my guess. So we will see. Anyway, let me show you what I did this week. On Monday, I had some good sets of knees to bar. I'm starting to use my legs in more of a straighter position, and good 30-minute grind at B2 on the pulling machine. It's pretty tough. Then on Tuesday, neutral pull-ups, 20-pound weight vest, 2 sets, and then I went up to 38 pounds hanging from my waist. Those are pretty comfortable. Did some squats, just getting used to doing them. Pulling machine using my elbow straps that I created when I had the broken thumb, going heavier and harder there. On Wednesday, some dips, 21 dips, not my max anymore. That was pretty comfortable. On Thursday, knees to bar, really easy. Then on Friday, neutral pull-ups, just cranking them out. Set of 13, super easy. Then a 20-pound weight vest, then 38 pounds. Then I went to 58 pounds, cranked out 2 of those, and then immediately did 5 more. And then I started doing L-sit pull-ups. Those are hard. Neutral pull-ups using a V1 position, which basically means that one arm is pulling a lot more than the other. 4 of those, some deep push-ups, and another good grind on the pole. On Saturday, some cable crunches, something I just created to work my core, and some cable tricep extensions. Those feel really good. Both those exercises might become a regular feature. And today, knees to bar, good set. Getting my legs out there in front of me more, and that puts a lot of stress on my core and my lower back. And then another 30-minute grind and a decent weight on the pulling machine. It's after 11 p.m. and I just finished my pulling workout actually. So I'm gonna go home, go to bed, and hopefully have a more gentle week in front of me. All right, see you in the next one.